and welcome along to Extra Time. And what a weekend it was for Real Madrid. The Whites thrashing Real Betis by 5-0 on Saturday afternoon, and with other results going our way as well. It means Madrid are now just a point off top spot. It was a thrilling weekend in La Liga, and with me to reflect upon it, Sid Lowe, Fred Hermel and Dermot Corrigan. Sid, that 5-0 win in Seville against Real Betis, it was a complete performance, wasn't it, from Madrid?
I don't think there's too much else you can ask for. You look at a performance in which Madrid got another clean sheet, which is significant, in which they scored 5 goals, a goal for 5 different players, which I think is important as well, spreading it around and enhancing that sense of Madrid being a dangerous side from lots of different positions and lots of different players. And it was very comfortable, and that comfort enabled Real Madrid to basically see out the game without any worries at all. And the other significant thing from my point of view was that it was the best I've seen Angel Di Maria play in that slightly unfamiliar role in midfield. And I must confess, it's a position that I'm not entirely convinced by, but this weekend he went a long way to showing that maybe, just maybe, there's a role for him there.
Freddie, a few weeks ago, Real Madrid were 6 points off top spot. Now it's just 1 point. Great spirit shown by the side.
Remember what I said a few weeks ago when there was these 6 points. I said 6 points were nothing. It was true. 6 points was nothing. 1 point is less than nothing. You know, it's amazing. So you said it's a fantastic weekend. No, it's a fantastic week because we had the Ballon d'Or of Cristiano Ronaldo on Monday. Nice victory in Copa. Fantastic game against Betis. And in the same week, you have seen 2 times Atletico and Barcelona drawing. You know, this is marvelous. I think that the momentum in La Liga is for Real Madrid. Real Madrid is really in the good momentum. At the same time, it's quite difficult for Barca and Atletico. It smells Liga soon, I think.
Smells good. Dermot, 5 games for Real Madrid in 2014, 5 wins and 5 clean sheets.
Yeah, I think Carlo Ancelotti's going to be really happy with that statistic. Last year, towards the end of the year, he talked an awful lot about balance. You know, in every game, maybe they might win 6-3 or 4-2 or something, and Ancelotti will be just a little bit unhappy about the balance of the team not being right. Since Christmas, he's sat down. He's got the team playing, as Sid was saying, in a 4-3-3 at the moment, which gives a little bit more protection to the centre halves. And Ramos and Pepe are both playing really well at the moment. Casillas is playing well when he comes in. Diego Lopez doing well when he comes in. The balance of the team is really good. The structured team is there, and then from there they can go on and score 5 goals and win 5-0. So Ancelotti's going to be really, really happy with how things are going at the moment.
A comprehensive victory for Real Madrid then. Let's hear from the manager, Carlo Ancelotti, who spoke in the post-match press conference.
I thought Gareth Bale played well. I thought the whole team played well throughout the entire game. We showed quality and concentration, particularly during the opening minutes when we defended well. Everything worked out well for us in this game, and for that reason, we have to go away feeling happy. Matches seem very easy after you have played them, but every game presents its own problems. We prepared well and played well. Betis tried to put in a good performance. They played as well as they could. But as soon as we scored the first goal, the game took a very different turn. We had more space to launch counterattacks, and we searched for solutions in and around the Betis box. They only had one option open to them, which was to attack us, to try to level the score. This game did represent an important opportunity for us. A win puts us top of the table, maybe only for just one night, but at least we'll sleep well tonight.
Carlo Ancelotti speaking in the post-match press conference there on Saturday afternoon. Interesting to pick up on something he said there. It's easy, the game, after you play. It's a 5-0 victory, looks simple. But remember, last season Madrid went to Real Betis and lost away there. The season before that, they needed a late goal to get a 3-2 victory. I mean, in the context of things, that just makes this even better.
Well, before the game, Ancelotti had talked about how Barcelona had struggled to get their victory at the Villamarín as well, and I think in that sense he's right to talk about how it looks easy afterwards, because you have to put yourself in a position in which it becomes easy, and you get in that position by scoring with your first 2 chances, a brilliant goal from Ronaldo and a really lovely free kick from Gareth Bale. I think that the one kind of spanner I'd throw into the works is that Betis are a team that's falling apart, and to that extent, I think even before the game, we probably expected it to be easy. But we expected it to be easy in the context of a Madrid side that's finding its feet, and so in that sense, it's not just because Betis are struggling; it's because Madrid are getting it right now, and it was very interesting to see the way that Madrid have moved into that slightly new formation 4-3-3, the brilliance of the performances of late of Luka Modric in particular, who I thought was absolutely fantastic again.
I think it was not a game to play well. It was a game to win. Just because it's Betis, it's the bottom of the Liga, I say, okay, just do your job, take the 3 points. But I see a spirit of Real Madrid. Okay, we won the 3 points, and it was important to be first of the league before the games of Barcelona and the game of Atletico. Real Madrid had to be practical, but the spirit is different. You have to be practical, but you have to enjoy playing football. And we saw a game where all the players were enjoying playing football. That's why 4 of the 5 goals are amazing, are incredible shots. That's why I think this Real Madrid is now in his best mood since Carlo Ancelotti takes this system.
I suppose it's no coincidence that every time Real Madrid seem to put in a really good performance, we see a good high-level intensity start from them. What Carlo Ancelotti wants for his team is for them to start really well, and they did just that.
Yeah, that's the word he uses a lot in his pre-match press conferences, is intensity. A couple of times maybe before Christmas when the team didn't start that well and you find yourself in trouble in a game, even it might still be 0-0, but you're not playing that well, the other team get a bit of confidence out of it. Madrid, you could see from the start of the game they were up for it, they were flying into tackles. There was a couple of immediate challenges that went in earlier on from both teams, but Madrid weren't going to, they weren't going to take a step backwards. They were going to meet Betis, who were fighting for their lives on equal terms in that, and then from there their quality could just flow. And from the first goal from Ronaldo, Betis are in it at that stage, they're pushing men forward, they're all thinking, we have a chance here, we really need to win this game, everything is forested, 50,000 fans inside the stadium roaring them on, they're up for it, and suddenly Ronaldo picks up the ball in midfield and scores an amazing goal from 35 yards that's in the net before the keeper can move. That doesn't happen unless the team are up for it from the start of the game, unless they're ready to go for it, to go into battle from the start of the game, and that's what they did.
Was it that Real Madrid were very, very good, Betis were very, very bad, a combination of the two?
Yeah, of course. I mean, any game to some extent depends on both sides, and I think it was a combination of the two. I think the way that Betis set up their midfield meant that Madrid were always likely to find space around them. I think the emotional weakness of Betis meant that possibly it wasn't guaranteed that Betis would be poor, but I think once Madrid scored, it was guaranteed that Betis would be poor. That would effectively see them kind of collapse in front of Madrid. For that, of course, you need the first goal, and the first goal was such a brilliant goal from Ronaldo that I think that kind of blew Betis apart as well. So it was a combination of both things. But Madrid, I think, once again demonstrated that there's such a variety of good players in the side. They've got so many different ways they can score, and I think that's a significant advantage that, personally, I think Madrid have over both Atletico Madrid and Barcelona.
More than the first goal, I think the attitude of the player at the beginning, because have you seen during the first 10 minutes, Betis did not have a single ball. Real Madrid dominate everything, and each time the ball was crossing the middle of the camp, Real Madrid took the ball and attacked again. Yeah. I think that Real Madrid showed from the beginning that nobody was ready to let play Betis, and it was very difficult for Betis. Okay, Real Madrid came and said, you will not have any single hope during this game. The authority of Real Madrid was amazing.
Yeah, and that's something, by the way, that I think has been a significant difference this year.
Respect to last year.
Compared to last year. Yeah. And I think Ancelotti's idea, his basic starting point for football is different from Jose Mourinho in that sense. And I think he's a manager who wants his team to step perhaps an extra 10 metres further forward, to have more of the ball, to have more of what Freddie described there as authority, to say, right, listen, this game is ours. Yeah, of course you can cause us problems because you're a football team and it can happen. But this game is ours. We're not going to wait for you. We're going to go and beat you.
OK, let's hear from the man who scored Real Madrid's 5th goal. Alvaro Morata spoke after the game.
I had a hard time when I came on in our last match. All I want is to be able to help the team out in any way I can. The game was tipped in our favour after Cristiano scored. Overall, it was a good performance. We knew that this was an important game for us to put the pressure on our direct rivals, and fortunately, it all went our way. Despite what is written in the newspapers, I'm very happy here at Madrid. I've spoken with the club and the coach and told them that my plan is to stay here. I'm happy here playing for my lifelong club, and I'll be trying to help the side to achieve success in whatever way I can.
Alvaro Morata speaking after that game in which he scored. Good to see him get on the score sheet. A lot's been spoken about Jesse Rodriguez in recent weeks, but we shouldn't forget Morata.
Yeah, no, I think it is significant because he is the player that I think more than anyone else in the squad, with the possible exception of Angel Di Maria, is most likely to feel perhaps a little emotionally fragile because he's kind of been overtaken by Jesse, and I think in that sense it was significant that Carlo Ancelotti decided to play him, to give him minutes, to make sure he felt part of it, to make up to some extent for what had happened in midweek in the Copa del Rey when he had his eye pretty badly beaten up. And so I think that was important. I think the goal was important. He looked a little bit embarrassed at scoring it. I think there was a moment where it almost felt like he thought he was offside. But it's important. And Madrid, I'm not convinced they'll use him a lot, but there will be times when they need him between now and the end of the season.
OK, that's all we've got time for on this edition of Extra Time. Keep your tweets coming to us using that hashtag ExtraTimeRM. And if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to the official Real Madrid YouTube channel. Until the next time, it's adios.